Welcome to Book Summaries That Awaken Your Soul. This is a 30-min power summary of the book I Am That, written by awakened Master Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj in 1974. Summary of Chapters 1 to 10. The Foundation of I Am. Chapter 1. The sense of I Am embarks on this exploration by delving into the fundamental question of being. Maharaj eloquently explains that the sense of I Am is the first sensation to emerge upon waking, a primordial awareness that precedes our identification with the physical body and the external world. He passionately encourages readers to embark on a journey of self-discovery, delving into the depths of this sense of being, questioning its origin and essence, and ultimately realizing that it transcends the limitations of the body and mind, reaching into the boundless realm of pure existence. Chapter 2. Obsession with the body delves into the root cause of human suffering, our misguided identification with the physical form. Maharaj emphasizes the detrimental nature of our attachment to bodily concerns, urging us to transcend these limitations and explore the deeper reality that lies beyond the confines of the physical. He introduces the concept of the real you as a timeless essence, existing beyond the realm of birth and death, untouched by the transient nature of the physical world. Chapter 3. The living present ventures into the intricate nature of time and highlights the profound significance of the present moment. Maharaj explains that the past and future are mere mental constructs, existing solely in the realms of memory and imagination. In contrast, the present moment holds the stamp of reality, a vibrant and undeniable actuality that transcends the limitations of thought. He encourages readers to embrace the present moment fully, accepting life as it unfolds without clinging to desires or succumbing to fears, for true liberation lies in the present. Chapter 4. Real world is beyond the mind challenges our understanding of causality and its limitations. Maharaj deconstructs the notion of a single cause for any event, emphasizing the intricate interconnectedness of all things in the universe. But he proposes that the universe operates spontaneously and with boundless freedom, and true understanding can only be attained by transcending the constraints of the mind and its rigid categories. Chapter 5. What is born must die confronts the fundamental concepts of life and death. Maharaj sheds light on the nature of death, explaining that it is merely a transformation in the living process of the body, not the annihilation of consciousness or reality. He guides readers towards the discovery of the unborn and deathless essence, the eternal and unchanging reality that lies beyond the cyclical dance of birth and death. Chapter 6. Meditation explores the profound purpose and transformative benefits of meditation. Maharaj emphasizes that meditation is not merely a tool for achieving a quiet mind, but a gateway to becoming intimately aware of our inner life and ultimately reaching the source of life and consciousness itself. He highlights the power of awareness in dissolving the unconscious, releasing its captive energies, and paving the path to liberation. Chapter 7. The mind delves into the intricate nature of the mind and its role in creating the illusion of separation and duality. Maharaj explains that the mind, with its inherent tendency to divide and oppose, constructs our personal world, a subjective and transient realm that veils the underlying reality. He contrasts this with the true, open world, a realm of unity, love, and interconnectedness that is accessible to all. Chapter 8. The Self Stands Beyond Mind explores the intricate relationship between the self and the mind. Maharaj reveals that the restlessness, desires, and anxieties we experience are not inherent attributes of the self, but mere reflections of the mind's incessant activity. He guides readers to transcend the limitations of the mind and realize the self as the ever-present, detached witness, observing the play of thoughts and emotions without being affected by them. Chapter 9. Responses of Memory delves into the nature of perception and imagination, unraveling their intricate connection to memory. Maharaj explains that both perception and imagination are rooted in the past, contributing to the illusion of a continuous and independent world. He contrasts our identification with the world as something separate and enduring with his own perception of the world as a fleeting and ephemeral appearance within consciousness. Chapter 10. Witnessing delves into the nature of desires and provides practical guidance on how to approach them. Maharaj advises readers to embark on a journey of self-exploration, carefully examining their desires and understanding their underlying structure and motivations. He introduces the transformative practice of witnessing as a means to disentangle the self from the not-self, leading to the realization of one's true nature as pure awareness, untouched by the pull of desires. Chapter 11. Awareness and consciousness distinguishes between these two fundamental aspects of our being. Maharaj defines awareness as the primordial state, an unchanging and all-encompassing presence, while consciousness is relative, arising from contact with objects and experiences. He explains that while consciousness is dependent on awareness, awareness can exist without consciousness, as in deep sleep. The key to transcending the limitations of consciousness lies in recognizing the ever-present awareness that underlies all experience. Chapter 12. The person is not reality further deconstructs the illusion of the individual self. Maharaj emphasizes that the person we believe ourselves to be is merely a reflection of the real, a temporary and fragmented entity shaped by memories and habits. He encourages readers to go beyond this self-identification and realize the true self as the source of all experience, a state of pure being and love. Chapter 13. The Supreme, the mind, and the body explores the interplay between these three aspects of existence. Maharaj explains that the Supreme, or the Absolute, is the source of both mind and body, and transcends the limitations of both. He emphasizes that the Supreme is not a state of consciousness, but the very ground of consciousness itself, a state of stillness and silence that cannot be grasped by the mind. Chapter 14. Appearances and the reality further challenges the notion of causality and the apparent reality of the world. Maharaj likens the world to a picture made of light, emphasizing that it is a momentary appearance in consciousness, not an independent entity. He encourages readers to focus on the light of awareness, rather than the fleeting pictures it creates. Chapter 15. The Nani explores the characteristics of a realized being. Maharaj explains that a Nani is not a person with special powers or knowledge, but one who has realized their true nature as the supreme reality. He emphasizes that a Nani is free from desires and fears, living in a state of perfect peace and harmony with the universe. Chapter 16. Desirelessness. The highest bliss addresses the nature of desires and the pursuit of happiness. Maharaj explains that true happiness cannot be found in external things, as they are impermanent and ultimately lead to suffering. He encourages readers to cultivate desirelessness, as it is the gateway to experiencing the bliss of the self, which is uncaused and ever-present. Chapter 17. The ever-present discusses the importance of living in the present moment. Maharaj explains that the present moment is the only point of contact with reality, as the past and future exist only in the mind. He encourages readers to focus on the ever-present I Am, which is the key to unlocking the door to the timeless and eternal. Chapter 18. To know what you are. Find what you are not guides readers on the path of self-inquiry. Maharaj emphasizes the need to investigate and reject all that we are not: body, feelings, thoughts, etc., in order to discover the true self, which is beyond all definitions and descriptions. Chapter 19. Reality Lies in Objectivity explores the relationship between the subjective and objective aspects of reality. Maharaj explains that the world we perceive is subjective and illusory, while reality lies in objectivity, which is free from personal biases and distortions. He encourages readers to develop the witness attitude and see the world as it is, not as we imagine it to be. Chapter 20. The Supreme is beyond all reiterates the ultimate nature of reality. Maharaj explains that the supreme reality is beyond all attributes and distinctions, including the concepts of being and non-being, consciousness and unconsciousness. He emphasizes that the Supreme is not a state to be attained, but the very source of all existence, the foundation on which all experience rests. Chapter 21. Who Am I revisits the fundamental question of identity. Maharaj emphasizes the importance of going beyond the limitations of the personal self, which is merely a collection of memories and habits. He encourages readers to investigate the sense of I Am and discover their true nature as the pure, unchanging witness of all experience. Chapter 22. Life is Love, and Love is Life explores the essence of love and its connection to life itself. Maharaj explains that love is not merely a state of mind or an emotion, but the very fabric of existence, the unifying force that holds everything together. He encourages readers to expand their sense of self to encompass all beings, realizing that life is love and love is life. Chapter 23, Discrimination Leads to Detachment, discusses the importance of discerning the real from the unreal and cultivating detachment from the transient world. Maharaj contrasts the world of appearances, which is impermanent and illusory, with the real world, which is perfect and unchanging. He emphasizes that discrimination leads to detachment, which in turn paves the way for right action and ultimately liberation. Chapter 24, God is the all-doer. The Gnani and non-doer explores the relationship between God, the Gnani, and the world. Maharaj explains that while God is the ultimate doer, the Gnani is a non-doer, as they have realized their true nature as pure being and do not identify with the actions of the body-mind. He emphasizes the importance of surrendering to the divine will and living in harmony with the flow of life. Chapter 25, Hold on to I Am, reiterates the significance of focusing on the sense of I Am as a means to self-realization. Maharaj explains that desires and fears are merely states of mind, while the I Am is the ever-present witness, the unchanging reality that underlies all experience. He encourages readers to hold on to the I Am and let go of all else. Chapter 26, Personality. An obstacle further explores the limitations of the personal self and its role in obscuring reality. Maharaj emphasizes that the personality is merely a collection of memories and habits, and it is our identification with it that creates suffering and bondage. He encourages readers to go beyond the personality and realize the true self, which is free and unlimited. Chapter 27, The Beginningless Begins Forever, delves into the nature of time and eternity. Maharaj explains that the present moment is eternal, while the past and future exist only in the mind. He encourages readers to let go of the illusion of time and realize the timeless reality of the self, which is always present and ever new. Chapter 28, All Suffering is Born of Desire, explores the root cause of suffering and the path to liberation. Maharaj explains that all suffering stems from desire and our identification with the limited self. He encourages readers to cultivate detachment and desirelessness, as they are the keys to experiencing lasting peace and happiness. Chapter 29, Living is Life's Only Purpose, discusses the concept of failure in yoga and the importance of perseverance. Maharaj explains that there is no such thing as failure in yoga, as it is a journey of self-discovery and growth. He encourages readers to embrace life's challenges and learn from both successes and setbacks, as they all contribute to our ultimate liberation. Chapter 30, You Are Free Now, emphasizes the ever-present nature of freedom and the futility of seeking it in the future. Maharaj explains that we are already free, but our minds create the illusion of bondage through desires and fears. He encourages readers to let go of these mental constructs and realize their inherent freedom in the present moment. Chapter 31, Do Not Undervalue Attention, highlights the crucial role of attention in spiritual growth. Maharaj explains that attention is the key to understanding our minds and their projections, ultimately leading to liberation from false self-identifications. He encourages readers to cultivate a state of alert and detached observation, watching the mind without judgment or reaction. Chapter 32, Life is the Supreme Guru, emphasizes the importance of learning from life itself. Maharaj explains that life is a constant teacher, offering valuable lessons through every experience. He encourages readers to pay attention to life's teachings and live in harmony with its flow, recognizing the inner guru that guides us from within. Chapter 33, Everything Happens by Itself, delves deeper into the concept of causality and the illusion of control. Maharaj reiterates that the universe operates spontaneously and independently, and we are not the doers, but merely witnesses of the unfolding of events. He encourages readers to relinquish the need for control and surrender to the divine will. Chapter 34, Mind is Restlessness itself, explores the nature of the mind and its inherent restlessness. Maharaj explains that the mind is constantly seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, creating a cycle of desire and fear that keeps us in bondage. He encourages readers to go beyond the mind and realize the peace and stillness of the self, which is the true source of happiness. Chapter 35, Greatest Guru is Your Inner Self, highlights the importance of trusting our own inner guidance. Maharaj explains that the greatest guru is the self within, which is always present and ever wise. He encourages readers to turn inward and listen to the voice of their own intuition, as it will lead them to truth and liberation. Chapter 36. Killing hurts the killer, not the killed, addresses the concept of violence and its consequences. Maharaj emphasizes that true violence lies in harming our own true nature through ignorance and self-identification with the body-mind. He explains that physical death is not the ultimate tragedy, but rather the clinging to a false sense of self that perpetuates suffering. Chapter 37. Beyond pain and pleasure there is bliss, explores the nature of happiness and the limitations of pleasure and pain. Maharaj explains that true happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but arises from the realization of our true nature as pure being. He encourages readers to go beyond the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain and discover the bliss that lies beyond duality. Chapter 38. Spiritual practices will asserted and reasserted discusses the importance of earnestness and perseverance in spiritual practice. Maharaj explains that true spiritual practice is not about following a set of rules or techniques, but about the unwavering commitment to discovering the truth. He encourages readers to be persistent in their self-inquiry and have faith in their own inner guidance. Chapter 39. By itself nothing has existence, further explores the illusory nature of the world and the interconnectedness of all things. Maharaj explains that nothing exists independently, but everything is dependent on and arises from the totality of conditions. He encourages readers to see through the illusion of separation and realize the unity of all existence. Chapter 40. Only the self is real reiterates the ultimate truth of the self as the only reality. Maharaj explains that the world is but a show, a projection of the mind, while the self is the unchanging witness, the source of all experience. He encourages readers to focus on the self and let go of the illusion of the world, realizing that only the self is real. Chapter 41. Develop the witness attitude emphasizes the transformative power of cultivating the witness consciousness. Maharaj explains that by observing our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment or identification, we begin to detach from the ego self and realize our true nature as pure awareness. He encourages readers to develop the witness attitude in everyday life, allowing experiences to come and go without disturbing the inner peace of the self. Chapter 42. Reality cannot be expressed explores the limitations of language in conveying the truth of reality. Maharaj explains that reality is beyond words and concepts, and any attempt to describe it is bound to be incomplete and misleading. He encourages readers to go beyond the limitations of the mind and experience reality directly through silence and self-inquiry. Chapter 43. Ignorance can be recognized. Not Nana delves into the nature of ignorance and the path to knowledge. Maharaj explains that true knowledge is not about accumulating information or experiences, but about recognizing and transcending ignorance. He emphasizes that the realization of the self is not a state to be attained, but a natural state of being that is revealed through the removal of ignorance. Chapter 44. I am is true. All else is inference reiterates the significance of the sense of I am as the foundation of all experience. Maharaj explains that the I am is the only true statement we can make about ourselves, while all other descriptions and identifications are merely inferences drawn from our experiences. He encourages readers to focus on the I am and let go of all other self-definitions. Chapter 45. What comes and goes has no being explores the transient nature of the world and the importance of detachment. Maharaj emphasizes that everything in the manifested world is impermanent and subject to change, while the true self is unchanging and eternal. He encourages readers to let go of their attachments to the world and its fleeting pleasures and seek the lasting peace and happiness that comes from realizing the self. Chapter 46. Awareness of being is bliss delves into the nature of happiness and its source. Maharaj explains that true happiness is not dependent on external circumstances or the fulfillment of desires, but arises from the awareness of being, the simple and direct experience of existence. He encourages readers to cultivate self-awareness and discover the bliss that is their true nature. Chapter 47. Watch Your Mind reiterates the importance of observing the mind and its activities. Maharaj explains that the mind is the source of all our problems, as it creates the illusion of separation and perpetuates the cycle of desire and fear. He encourages readers to watch their minds without judgment, allowing thoughts and emotions to come and go without getting entangled in them. Chapter 48. Awareness is free explores the liberating power of awareness. Maharaj explains that while the mind is bound by limitations and conditioning, awareness is free and unlimited. He encourages readers to shift their attention from the mind to awareness and experience the freedom and joy that come from realizing their true nature. Chapter 49, Mind Causes Insecurity, further explores the role of the mind in creating a sense of insecurity and fear. Maharaj explains that the mind's constant striving for pleasure and avoidance of pain creates a state of perpetual anxiety. He encourages readers to disidentify from the mind and its projections and realize the peace and security that comes from abiding in the self. Chapter 50. Self-awareness is the witness delves deeper into the nature of the witness consciousness. Maharaj explains that self-awareness is the witness, the observing presence that is aware of all experiences without getting involved in them. He encourages readers to cultivate self-awareness and realize their true nature as the witness, which is beyond the limitations of the mind and body. Chapter 51. Be indifferent to pain and pleasure delves into the importance of equanimity in the face of life's challenges. Maharaj emphasizes that both pain and pleasure are transient experiences arising in consciousness, and that true happiness lies beyond the duality of these opposites. He encourages readers to cultivate a state of detached awareness, observing these experiences without judgment or identification, and remaining undisturbed by their fluctuations. Chapter 52. Being Happy. Making happy is the rhythm of life, explores the true nature of love and happiness. Maharaj addresses a seeker struggling with a lifelong search for love and acceptance, stemming from a difficult childhood. He emphasizes that love is not about receiving, but about giving and sharing one's own happiness with others. He encourages the seeker to look within and discover the wellspring of love and happiness that is their true nature, realizing that it is not dependent on external validation or reciprocation. Chapter 53. Desires Fulfilled. Breed More Desires tackles the issue of clinging to desires and expectations. Maharaj encounters a questioner filled with frustration and dissatisfaction, despite having achieved worldly success. He explains that the pursuit of desires only leads to more desires, creating a never-ending cycle of craving and disappointment. True happiness, he emphasizes, lies in contentment and the relinquishment of desires. Chapter 54. Body and mind are symptoms of ignorance, further deconstructs the illusion of the individual self. Maharaj explains that the body and mind are merely instruments of consciousness, not the true self. He encourages readers to investigate the nature of consciousness and its source, realizing that the self is beyond the limitations of both body and mind. Chapter 55. Give Up All, and You Gain All emphasizes the liberating power of renunciation. Maharaj explains that true renunciation is not about giving up external things, but about letting go of attachments and identifications with the ego self. He encourages readers to surrender all desires and expectations and experience the freedom and joy of living in the present moment. Chapter 56. Consciousness Arising. World Arises explores the relationship between consciousness and the world. Maharaj explains that the world we perceive is a projection of our consciousness, and that without consciousness there is no world. He encourages readers to go beyond the limitations of consciousness and realize the ultimate reality, which is beyond both being and non-being. Chapter 57. Beyond Mind, There Is No Suffering delves into the nature of suffering and its cause. Maharaj explains that suffering is a mental construct, arising from our identification with the ego self and its desires and fears. He emphasizes that true peace and happiness can only be found by transcending the mind and realizing the self, which is beyond suffering. Chapter 58. Perfection. Destiny of All discusses the concept of perfection and the role of the guru in spiritual growth. Maharaj explains that everyone is destined for perfection, which is the realization of their true nature as the self. He emphasizes the importance of finding a true guru who can guide and support us on the path towards self-realization. Chapter 59. Desire and Fear Self-Centered States explores the nature of desire and fear and their role in creating suffering. Maharaj explains that both desire and fear are self-centered states that arise from the illusion of separation. He encourages readers to cultivate detachment and equanimity, and to see through the illusory nature of these emotions. Chapter 60. Live Facts, Not Fancies emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and facing reality as it is. Maharaj explains that most people live in a world of fantasies and illusions, while the real world is right here and now. He encourages readers to let go of their fantasies and live according to the facts of their existence, accepting life as it unfolds without judgment or resistance. Chapter 61, Matter is Consciousness Itself, challenges our understanding of the material world. Maharaj explains that matter is not separate from consciousness, but rather a manifestation of it. He encourages readers to see the world as a projection of their own minds and to realize that the seemingly solid and objective reality is ultimately an illusion. Chapter 62, In the Supreme, the Witness Appears, explores the relationship between the witness, the self, and the supreme reality. Maharaj explains that the witness is a reflection of the self in the mind, while the supreme is the ultimate source of both. He emphasizes the importance of realizing the unity of these three aspects of being, which leads to liberation from the illusion of separation. Chapter 63, Notion of Doership is Bondage, discusses the illusion of agency and the importance of surrendering to the divine will. Maharaj explains that the idea of being a doer is a major source of bondage, as it creates a sense of separation and responsibility. He encourages readers to let go of the ego self and its desires and allow life to unfold spontaneously and effortlessly. Chapter 64, Whatever Pleases You, Keeps You Back, explores the nature of desires and their role in hindering spiritual growth. Maharaj explains that attachment to pleasure and the pursuit of happiness keep us bound to the world of illusion. He encourages readers to cultivate desirelessness and seek the true and lasting happiness that comes from realizing the self. Chapter 65, A Quiet Mind Is All You Need, emphasizes the importance of a still and quiet mind in the journey towards self-realization. Maharaj explains that the mind, with its constant chatter and fluctuations, obscures the truth of our being. He encourages readers to cultivate inner silence through meditation and self-inquiry, allowing the light of awareness to shine through. Chapter 66, All Search for Happiness is Misery, further deconstructs the illusion of happiness in the world. Maharaj explains that the pursuit of happiness in external things is a futile endeavor, as it only leads to more desires and suffering. True happiness, he emphasizes, is our natural state and can only be found by going beyond the mind and its attachments. Chapter 67, Experience is Not the Real Thing, challenges the notion that self-realization is an experience. Maharaj explains that experiences are transient and limited, while the self is eternal and unchanging. He encourages readers to focus on being, rather than experiencing, and to realize the timeless reality that is their true nature. Chapter 68, Seek the Source of Consciousness, guides readers towards discovering the source of their being. Maharaj explains that consciousness is not self-sufficient, but arises from a deeper source, which is the self. He encourages readers to investigate the nature of consciousness and trace it back to its origin, ultimately realizing the self as the source of all experience. Chapter 69, Transiency is Proof of Unreality, further explores the impermanent nature of the world and the importance of detachment. Maharaj emphasizes that everything in the manifested world is transitory and subject to change, while the true self is eternal and unchanging. He encourages readers to let go of their attachments to the impermanent and seek the lasting peace and happiness that comes from realizing the self. Chapter 70, God is the End of All Desire and Knowledge, discusses the nature of God and the ultimate goal of self-realization. Maharaj explains that God is not a person or a being, but the ultimate reality, the source of all existence. He emphasizes that the realization of God is the end of all desires and knowledge, as it is the state of perfect peace, love, and understanding. Chapter 71, In Self-Awareness You Learn About Yourself, explores the relationship between the guru and the disciple. Maharaj emphasizes that the guru's role is to guide and inspire, but ultimately, the disciple is responsible for their own self-realization. He encourages readers to cultivate self-awareness and to learn from their own experiences, as this is the path to true understanding and liberation. Chapter 72, What is Pure, Unalloyed, Unattached is Real, delves into the nature of reality and the importance of discernment. Maharaj explains that the real is that which is pure, unconditioned, and unchanging, while the unreal is that which is transient, impermanent, and subject to change. He encourages readers to cultivate discernment and to distinguish between the real and the unreal, ultimately realizing the self as the only true reality. Chapter 73. Death of the Mind is Birth of Wisdom explores the transformative power of going beyond the mind. Maharaj explains that the mind, with its constant thoughts and desires, is the source of ignorance and suffering. He encourages readers to transcend the limitations of the mind and experience the freedom and wisdom of the self, which is beyond all mental constructs. Chapter 74. Truth is Here and Now emphasizes the ever-present nature of truth and the futility of seeking it in the future. Maharaj explains that truth is not something to be attained or achieved, but rather a state of being that is always available to us in the present moment. He encourages readers to let go of their search for truth and simply be present, allowing the truth of their being to reveal itself. Chapter 75. In Peace and Silence You Grow discusses the importance of inner stillness and silence in spiritual growth. Maharaj explains that the mind is like a turbulent ocean, and that only in stillness and silence can we see the reflection of our true nature. He encourages readers to cultivate inner peace through meditation and self-inquiry, allowing the quietude of the self to permeate their being. Chapter 76. To Know That You Do Not Know is True Knowledge explores the nature of knowledge and ignorance. Maharaj explains that true knowledge is not about accumulating information, but about recognizing the limitations of the mind and its inability to grasp the ultimate reality. He encourages readers to embrace the unknown and to be open to the mystery of existence, realizing that the true self is beyond all knowledge and understanding. Chapter 77. I and Mine Are False Ideas further deconstructs the illusion of the separate self. Maharaj explains that the sense of I and mine are merely mental constructs that create a sense of ownership and separation. He encourages readers to let go of these false identifications and realize the unity of all existence, understanding that everything is interconnected and interdependent. Chapter 78. All Knowledge is Ignorance reiterates the limitations of the mind and its knowledge. Maharaj explains that all knowledge acquired through the mind is ultimately a form of ignorance, as it is based on concepts and ideas that obscure the truth of reality. He encourages readers to go beyond the mind and experience reality directly through intuition and self-awareness. Chapter 79. Person, Witness, and the Supreme explores the relationship between the person, the witness, and the supreme reality. Maharaj explains that the person is a temporary and illusory entity, while the witness is the ever-present observer of all experience, and the supreme is the ultimate source of both. He encourages readers to transcend the limitations of the person and the witness and realize their true nature as the supreme reality. Chapter 80. Awareness delves deeper into the nature of awareness and its role in self-realization. Maharaj explains that awareness is the key to understanding the mind and its projections, as it allows us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment or identification. He encourages readers to cultivate a state of pure awareness, realizing that it is the essence of their being and the gateway to liberation. Chapter 81. Root Cause of Fear explores the source of fear and its connection to the sense of a separate self. Maharaj explains that fear arises from our identification with the body-mind and its limitations, leading to a sense of vulnerability and insecurity. He encourages readers to investigate the root cause of their fears and to realize their true nature as the fearless and eternal self. Chapter 82. Absolute Perfection is Here and Now emphasizes the ever-present nature of perfection and the futility of seeking it in the future. Maharaj explains that the self is already perfect and complete, but our minds create the illusion of imperfection through desires and judgments. He encourages readers to let go of their striving for perfection and to realize the perfection that is already present within them. Chapter 83. The True Guru further explores the role of the Guru in spiritual growth. Maharaj explains that the true Guru is not a person, but the self within, which is the source of all wisdom and guidance. He encourages readers to turn inward and listen to the voice of their own intuition, as it will lead them to truth and liberation. Chapter 84. Your Goal is Your Guru emphasizes the importance of having a clear and defined goal in spiritual practice. Maharaj explains that the goal itself becomes our guru, guiding and motivating us on the path towards self-realization. He encourages readers to identify their ultimate goal and to dedicate themselves fully to its attainment. Chapter 85. I am the foundation of all experience reiterates the significance of the sense of I am as the starting point for self-inquiry. Maharaj explains that the I am is the bridge between the person and the self, the link between the transient and the eternal. He encourages readers to explore the depths of the I am and discover the timeless reality that lies beyond. Chapter 86. The unknown is the home of the real explores the nature of the unknown and its connection to reality. Maharaj explains that the real is that which is beyond the mind and its concepts, and that it can only be experienced directly through intuition and self-awareness. He encourages readers to embrace the unknown and to let go of their attachments to the familiar, as this is the path to discovering the true self. Chapter 87. Keep the mind silent, and you shall discover further emphasizes the importance of inner silence in spiritual practice. Maharaj explains that the mind, with its constant chatter and distractions, prevents us from experiencing the peace and clarity of the self. He encourages readers to cultivate a state of mental silence through meditation and self-inquiry, allowing the truth of their being to emerge. Chapter 88. Knowledge by the mind. Not true knowledge discusses the limitations of intellectual knowledge and the importance of direct experience. Maharaj explains that true knowledge is not about accumulating information or concepts, but about experiencing reality directly through intuition and self-awareness. He encourages readers to go beyond the limitations of the mind and its knowledge and to realize the truth of their being through direct experience. Chapter 89. Progress in spiritual life explores the nature of spiritual progress and the signs of growth. Maharaj explains that true progress is not about acquiring powers or achieving special states of consciousness, but about the gradual purification of the mind and the deepening of self-awareness. He encourages readers to be patient and persistent in their spiritual practice and to trust the inner guidance that leads them towards liberation. Chapter 90. Surrender to your own self discusses the importance of surrender in the spiritual journey. Maharaj explains that true surrender is not about giving up or submitting to an external authority, but about letting go of the ego self and its desires and fears. He encourages readers to surrender to their own true nature, the self, which is the source of all peace, love, and happiness. Chapter 91. Pleasure and happiness delves into the distinction between pleasure and happiness. Maharaj explains that pleasure is fleeting and dependent on external circumstances, while happiness is our natural state, arising from the realization of the self. He encourages readers to seek happiness within, rather than in the pursuit of external pleasures. Chapter 92. Go beyond the I am. The body idea reiterates the importance of transcending the identification with the body-mind. Maharaj explains that the body and mind are merely instruments of consciousness, not the true self. He encourages readers to go beyond the limitations of the body and mind and realize their true nature as the eternal and unchanging self. Chapter 93. Man is not the doer explores the illusion of agency and the freedom that comes from surrendering to the divine will. Maharaj explains that we are not the doers of actions, but merely witnesses of the unfolding of events. He encourages readers to let go of the ego self and its sense of doership and allow life to flow effortlessly and spontaneously. Chapter 94. You are beyond space and time emphasizes the timeless and spaceless nature of the self. Maharaj explains that the self is not limited by the constraints of space and time, but rather exists beyond them. He encourages readers to let go of their identification with the body-mind, which is bound by space and time, and realize their true nature as the eternal and omnipresent self. Chapter 95. Accept life as it comes discusses the importance of accepting life's challenges and surrendering to the divine will. Maharaj explains that everything that happens in life is for our ultimate good, even if it appears as suffering or hardship. He encourages readers to accept life as it comes, with gratitude and understanding, knowing that everything is ultimately part of a divine plan. Chapter 96. Abandon memories and expectations explores the limitations of memory and the importance of living in the present moment. Maharaj explains that memories and expectations keep us bound to the past and future, preventing us from fully experiencing the present moment. He encourages readers to let go of their attachments to the past and their anxieties about the future, and to live fully in the now. Chapter 97. Mind and the world are not separate delves deeper into the relationship between the mind and the world. Maharaj explains that the world we perceive is a projection of our own minds, and that without the mind, there is no world. He encourages readers to see through the illusion of separation and realize the unity of all existence. Chapter 98. Freedom from self-identification further explores the path towards liberation from the ego self. Maharaj explains that freedom comes from the realization that we are not the limited and separate person we believe ourselves to be, but rather the boundless and eternal self. He encourages readers to cultivate self-awareness and detachment, and to let go of their identification with the ego self. Chapter 99. The perceived cannot be the perceiver emphasizes the distinction between the observer and the observed. Maharaj explains that the self is the perceiver, the witness of all experience, while the objects of perception are merely appearances in consciousness. He encourages readers to shift their attention from the perceived to the perceiver, and to realize their true nature as the unchanging and eternal witness. Chapter 100. Understanding Leads to Freedom discusses the liberating power of understanding. Maharaj explains that true freedom comes not from changing our circumstances or acquiring knowledge, but from understanding the true nature of reality and our place in it. He encourages readers to seek understanding through self-inquiry and to let go of their attachments to the false self and its illusions. Chapter 101. Nani does not grasp, nor hold offers a final glimpse into the state of a realized being. Maharaj explains that a Nani is free from all desires and attachments and lives in a state of perfect peace and harmony with the universe. He encourages readers to follow the path of self-inquiry and to realize their own true nature as the boundless and eternal self.